Hey, the gang's all here. Jim, Sean, Amadeus. And it is a Wednesday, boys and girls. Hope you're having a great day wherever you may be watching it. And some thoughts, guys. What's the hot topic of the day in soccer? I did see that Man United's sail is getting inching closer and closer.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I think, well, you got the quarterfinals of the UEFA, the women, Barcelona, Spain, and Roma. But yesterday, I think Amadeus, we were talking about it maybe before the show started. Um, really just kind of the dominance of this Manchester United, and maybe hopefully soon to be Manchester United. Hoyland from Denmark had 5 goals, but Scott McTominay turned into prime Zinedine Zidane yesterday, and Scotland. Scotland beat Spain 2-0 in a group with a Georgia team who's not terrible, Norway who's not terrible, Spain and Scotland. Scotland's already on 6 points after 2 matches, so that's pretty big. Like the 2 teams qualify here, so you probably need, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 more wins, and 4 of those games are against Georgia and Cyprus. So
I love me some Georgia. I was on that plus the half against Norway.
Yeah, not they're 100% an approved team here, and look, right now, I think everybody just kind of thought Norway would walk through this group, a little bit, along with Spain because of Holland, but it's not. It's just not the way it's going to be. Like, you can't just have Holland and Odegaard. You got to have some players, and this Scotland team is. McTominay's scoring goals for fun for Scotland, so it'd be good to see them. They've scored 5 and allowed 0 in 2 games here. So, and Spain, I was talking to my buddy, and over in Spain, and they're already ready to throw that guy out the window. And then Turkey, Croatia beat Turkey. I don't know what day that Croatia Wales game was, when it was like they scored on basically like the last kick of the game. I think it was. I don't know if you're here on this. We're talking about, like, it was a pretty interesting game, and then it's Kosovo, Andorra, Romania, Belarus, Switzerland, Israel. That group stinks, but someone's gonna have to come out, and someone's gonna have to finish second. So. Probably Switzerland and Romania, both on 6 points.
That's exactly what I was thinking too. This Romania team actually looks pretty good, considering they've been so bad for quite a few years. Now they're starting to score. The defense is better, so I think scoring is really going to be important in these Euro Cup games. As we saw, Norway without Holland is a very different team, and they dominated the possession against Georgia, but they could only score 1 goal and came away with the draw. So. These are things that are definitely going to be issues. I think what happened to Denmark with Kazakhstan, that was a phenomenal game. If you watch that,
man, that was crazy.
Oh yeah, those last 15 minutes were amazing. But I don't think that's going to happen to Denmark again. They probably rebound that, and they'll probably use that loss to propel themselves forward the same way we saw with Croatia when they dropped the points there at home with that late goal against Wales. They came out and annihilated Turkey in the next game. So. And Turkey's a team I think probably finishes second in that group.
Yeah, they've been, people have been talking about Turkey for a few years, and they've been kind of disappointing in these tournaments. But
they destroyed the small teams, like when they were in that UEFA Nations League Group C or D or whatever. They almost went like 6-0.
Yeah, it was embarrassing. That what the thing is, like I compared a little bit to this college basketball. I think kind of everybody's celebrating this college basketball. It's a 4 or 5, 2 5s and a 9. But I mean, really, what it is
3 5s, isn't it? It's 3 5s and a 9.
No,
I think you're right. Yeah.
Is you kind of 5?
Yeah. No, they're 4. Or are they 4? They might be.
Wait a minute. I'll check.
You kind of bad. I think.
I'm on the research department. You guys keep talking.
So, everyone's like, oh man, this is great for bad. Like, not like, I don't know about that. Like, it's like I've said it before, I've been covering high school basketball now for 10 years, and the level of play every year gets worse. Like the fundamentals, like they don't do fundamentally strong stuff like they used to do, and it's a direct result of AAU basketball. I mean, you talk to anybody about it, that's why. Well, I think with this, what's happening is, there's some more money, and the pandemic with that, with the Belarus League, they got some money, and people are starting to farm, and people are starting to like, you're getting streaming deals for, even these small leagues are starting to get streaming deals. So, these leagues are starting to get better, Romania and, Kazakhstan, like,
Well, Cluj plays every day. They better be
Cluj,
improving.
yeah, Kazakhstan, you get, the teams there, and, Georgia, you're getting these players going to play for big time teams now. UConn's a 4 seed.
Yeah, my bad on that one.
So you're getting all these, you're getting these, I think the level of play all around. And once again, the Nations League has actually helped the smaller teams now, because, Luxembourg and Liechtenstein and all of these teams are playing Gibraltar and Monaco, San Marino and all this stuff. And you're getting some wins, and all of a sudden you're starting to play better, and you're getting some more confidence. The prime example would be North Macedonia. But, but I think Liechtenstein's been playing really well now.
I don't know about Liechtenstein. They kind of got destroyed, but
Luxembourg.
Luxembourg is the one. Yeah, they came in with like a 0-0 draw. They're really improving. Latvia's another one. They won their Nations League group last season, and I was on that +1.5 against Wales. Wales not going to score 2 goals on them. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. That's the thing. So these teams are playing against teams that are, and it's raising the level of everyone around there. So, I think, going forward now, especially now with 48 teams in the World Cup, these spots are going to be pretty competitive, I think, going forward. And, you're going to start to see some of these smaller countries maybe, you're going to see a lot more debuts, obviously, but, it's not always going to be like, those extra spots aren't going to be for like Italy and whatever. So, Italy's going to have to actually qualify.
They're going to have to get past North Macedonia somehow.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but I think it's been good. I'm glad to see the end. Usually there's games today, but the window's open. Like it's already closed. Like everybody's back. I mean, there's games. There's pretty big games on Friday. Marseille's playing Montpellier on Friday at 2:00 in Ligue 1. And Marseille right now, look, they're not going to win Ligue 1. They're 7 points back of PSG, but they're 2 points clear now alone, and 5 clear of Monaco for the Champions League now. So that's a pretty big game. And then Burnley plays Sunderland right now in the Championship. I mean, Burnley's on 83 points through 37 matches. So there's 9 matches to go. They can get to 110 points, which is absolutely ridiculous. They've played 37 matches and only lost 2. Their goal difference is +45. So they're 16 clear of Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough's actually played an extra game. So Burnley could go 19 clear with 8 to go. So there's only 24 points left. So Burnley's going to clinch a spot here in the Premier League really, really quickly once the league starts up again. And they've been unbelievable. So that'll be good to see. So there's some big games, and then obviously Saturdays is, the first game back is City and Liverpool. So, hopefully we don't see an April Fool's and see Liverpool win that. But, Bournemouth and Fulham and Arsenal, Leeds and Brighton and Brentford, which is, a great game. And, when you look at the table, Brighton's in 7th on 42 points. Brentford's in 8th on 42 points. And they're both tied with Liverpool, who's in 6th with 42 points. And all those teams, And once again, Brighton is only 5 points behind Newcastle, played a game less. So, you're going to have some big games now coming up basically every single weekend. And it's going to be like it's going to be like a little bit of a sprint now. You're going to be playing, these teams are going to be playing midweek, and then there's the Champions League. There's a ton of games that still have to be confirmed. Brighton, Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea, and Newcastle Brighton are the 3 games that still have to be confirmed. So those are really, really big games for the top 4, the Championship, Europe. You got this week, you got Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then Saturday, Sunday, and then all the European games. So you're going to be having really high level games, not like League 7 in, Romania or whatever. You're going to be having some big time games playing, and there's going to be some games played, on Champions League days, I think, when these teams are knocked out because there's nowhere else to put them.
Yeah, for sure. What's amazing to me is that Ivan Toney still got his England debut with all the things surrounding him.
People were going nuts today because Mitrovic got a 3-game suspension, right, for the red card. And everyone's like, how the hell did he only get 3 games? He pushed the ref. But then there's also the FA haven't even charged him with anything else yet, about the bump in the ref and stuff. So he's gonna get more games probably, but people were going crazy about that. It's a shame because Fulham, they're in 9th on 39 points, but really, now if Mitrovic doesn't play the rest of the year, all of a sudden, they're probably not going to fall any further than 11th because
it's a huge gap between 12 and 11.
And Fulham, there's no way. So, but for Fulham, who was in a European spot for so much of the year, if they finished 11th, that would be pretty tough. I actually thought they've been pretty good this year. They've come back up. No, remember, they just came back up, and they've attacked. They've played the right way, and if they can kind of just finish the season, if they can get to 50 points somehow in 11 games, pick up 11 points, get to 50 points, and then just they're going to be able to spend like crazy in the summer. This league is only going to because Burnley's going to come back up, and they're not terrible. They're going to be competitive. So this league every year it just gets more and more competitive. You just look at the bottom, 12 down to 20 is separated by 4 points. It's just been unbelievable.
Yeah, and it's wild because anybody that you could see the 12th place team get relegated right now just because of how close it is, and there's that huge 11-point gap. I think it is 11 or something.
Yeah, and you look at some of the other leagues. Napoli's on 71 points already, or 27.
What are they, 18 points ahead of the second place team? That one's
19 clear Lazio with 11 to go.
And that only helps them in Champions League because now they can lose every City A game.
They've only allowed 16 goals. It's just ridiculous how good this team is, and they're just walking the league. But when you kind of look down at the rest of it, 52, 51, 48, 47. 45, and Juventus there with 41 points. They're still not out, even though they lost all those.
Imagine if they got those 15 points back. I was even thinking about that. If you kept the 50, they're the second best team by far, and it's not even close.
Yeah, I think people sometimes people will look at the points and they'll say, they're not any good. They're playing Sporting here in the quarters. Well, they're 17-5-5. They've only allowed 22 goals.
And you know what I think a big part of what has helped them is for the longest time they had trouble attacking because they were always going with Keane and Malik. But ever since they gave Vlahovic his shot, he's really started to emerge as the guy. And even when playing for Serbia now, he's really he's been more effective than Mitrovic in a lot of games.
Yeah, he's gonna be in the Premier League. I think it's in next year. I mean, there's I think Juventus probably has to sell at this point. Patrici just got a 2.5-year ban. Who's as part of that Juventus stuff, and he was the sporting director at Tottenham, so he's out. I guess he's out. He got a 2.5-year club ban all over here.
You know what? You might definitely see Vlahovic in the Premier League because you know who's going to be replacing him in the summertime.
Wow, Wakehurst?
No, you're American, Christian Pulisic. They want to do a straight up. Chelsea wants to do a straight. They wanted to do a straight trade when Zakaria's loan ends this summer. They basically just want to swap the two. We keep Zakaria, you take Pulisic.
Oh yeah, that wouldn't be bad. He's got to get out of that league. What were you saying, Jim?
No, I was just saying that's the chances of having American in that regard is kind of cool.
You don't see many swap deals, so it's interesting for sure.
Yeah, Foxy, you're right. I mean that they've been terrible. And you can get on Amadeus.
Why are you pointing out Milan? I know they're garbage. Like, what is that?
They won the league last year, didn't they?
That doesn't mean anything. They won the league for the first time in a decade when they sold half their team to PSG.
The craziest thing is I just wrote something about Napoli for NG.com, and Napoli's only won 2 titles. They've only won titles. Yeah, the last title was 89-90. They won the UEFA Cup in 88-89, and then they won the title in 89-90. I'm sure that was Maradona, but They haven't won since then. They're going crazy over there. Like,
well, the last time they won the title, Argentina won the World Cup the year before.
Yeah, that's right. No, the same year.
Well, it was like
89-90. The last time they won a European Cup, they won the European Cup the UEFA Cup in 89, and then they won the league in 90, and then Argentina won the title in that summer right after the thing. So the same team.
Okay.
So but yeah, look, I mean they're favorite, they're favored. When you look at Spain right now, that league's over. Barcelona's 12 points clear with 12 to go. I mean, they're 22-2-2. They've only allowed 9 goals.
They have nothing to focus on too because they're out of every competition.
Yep. I mean, they have the
Copa del Rey. Who cares?
Yeah. They got to win some silver, but they're going to have to sell some players. Which league is crazy right now? I mean, and it's like I can't even believe that this it's like this, but I mean the Bundesliga is crazy.
And Bayern is still minus 400 to win it.
Yeah, I mean they're only a point back. You see, that's the thing. So that's the first game back. Foxy, what do you think about this game on? Hope you like my background, by the way, Foxy. Foxy, what do you think about this game on Saturday? Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich. It's at Munich. I mean, Munich is Tuchel's in. They're going to play a 9-1-0 with 9 guys behind the ball. I know what they're going to do against Manchester City. We watched it in the final and it worked. 2 legs is different, but I think they'll get a little bounce from this, and I still don't trust Dortmund, but this Munich team is like massively massive. I mean, they've scored 72 goals in 25 games in the league, and they've only lost 3 matches, and Dortmund's lost 6. But, Dortmund doesn't draw. They either win or lose. They only have 2 draws. Bayern's got 7 draws here. So, I don't know. What do you think about that, Amadeus? Bayern wins it?
Well, speaking of Bayern Munich, I actually like their women's team in the Champions League today, plus the half. I think they'll probably beat Arsenal outright. But going back to the men's with Bayern Munich, I think it's going to be interesting, this manager change for sure, just because they've been a team that's struggled on defense for so long, but they're one of those teams that's like, we can score goals, so it doesn't matter. Now there's going to be a complete flip in the locker room with the mindset because Tuchel's very, defensive minded defense first mindset. So it's going to be interesting because I think it'll definitely help their defense, but I don't know how, obviously they have all the talent on their team in the attack still, but I don't know how how it's going to turn out with his style. He's not going to be telling him to push the attack as much.
The Eredivisie's been, I think, has been pretty good. Feyenoord leads it right now. Feyenoord's only lost one match in 26. They have 7 draws. The plus, Ajax has a plus 44 goal difference. They have 72 goals. They've turned it around since they got rid of that big brain guy, Schroeder. But and I think Heiting is in there now, and but they're only 2 points ahead of Eindhoven, who's on 53, and Alkmaar, who's on 53. So, and the race for Europe there, 20, Sparta, Rotterdam, and Utrecht's on 38. So that league's been pretty interesting. I've kind of, I've tried to watch a little bit of that. I don't even Scotland. Who cares? Celtics up by 9 points, but they'll play Rangers 17 more times. Other than that, that's basically the main leagues. I didn't see Portugal.
I think Benfica's still.
Benfica's leading. Benfica's only lost one game. They're up by 10 over Porto, so there's no way.
And again, that helps them in Champions League.
Yeah, they play coming back. They're at Rio Ave. They play Porto on Friday, April 7th, ahead of the Champions League. So
that's a loss.
That's pretty interesting.
Are they at home or away?
No, they're at home.
So that's a draw.
Then they got to go to Chaves, which is a tough place to play. The stadium. I've been to that stadium actually. I've been to. They play Estoril. I went to that stadium. Gil Vicente, Braga, Portimonense, Sporting, and Santa Clara. So they'll win the league. I think that is a toss-up against Inter. That is really, to me, Benfica's plus 108. To qualify, they're both minus 112.
Wait, Benfica, they got matched. I haven't even looked at the next round. They're with Inter.
They're playing Inter, so they're at home, and they're both minus 112 to go through.
I still think
Foxy, they're the biggest. They're more Spurs than Spurs, man. I mean, that's like, they're non-existent, and Bayern owns them. 8-0-1, like you said. Yeah, I would really. It would be really, really interesting to see Dortmund get a result on Saturday, even a draw. I think if Bayern goes back ahead, I think they'll probably win. It'd be interesting to see Bayern maybe down 4 or 5 points here, with, 8 games to go, 7 games to go. Because, for me, looking at the Premier League table, Arsenal's 8 points clear of City, but City has a game in hand. But once again, I mean, when you look at Arsenal's fixtures, they play Leeds, then they're at Liverpool, at West Ham, always tough. I know West Ham stinks, but still, I mean, they're in the middle of Europe, though it's tough. Southampton, at City, Chelsea, who's playing better, at Newcastle, Brighton, at Forest, and Wolves. So, I'm gonna have fun watching City try to chase this down. I remember 2012 when United was up by, they had an 8-point lead, but City had like 2 games in hand. And it was like, they lost to City. They lost to City, and they're still clear, but they went to Wigan, and they never – I was in Manchester. They never, ever, ever lost to Wigan, and Wigan beat them 1-0, and I was like, oh, we're in trouble now. And then City beat them 1-0. I was over there and I actually flew home. I was like, man, I'm not even watching this. I know we're going to lose now. But it'll be interesting to see because City has to play, they got Liverpool And you can get City, by the way, at plus 130 right now to win the league. And it's not out of the question. They had Liverpool, Southampton away, Leicester at home, Arsenal at home, Fulham away without maybe Mitrovic, West Ham at home. West Ham will bend over them like they always do. Leeds at home, Everton away. If Everton's safe by then, that's interesting. Chelsea at home, and then Brentford away. So, and they got to make up the Brighton game. So it's not the easiest schedule in the world, but when you see City winning games 6-0, 7-0, 6-0, 7, all of a sudden they're starting it like, hey, maybe we got to start taking these games seriously now. It's funny too because City right now is the best price. This is the best price that you can get City to win the Champions League, around plus 225, plus 250 that you've gotten basically all year since before the season, because they're playing, Bayern Munich. If they beat Bayern Munich, they're going to be minus money to win the tournament, I would think.
It's amazing how these draws are so evenly matched. You got Inter and Benfica, Man City and Bayern. Very very interesting.
Yeah, and then who's Chelsea playing?
Another defensive slug.
I forget who the other draw is. For Europa League, I put Champions League. Real Madrid. Yeah, hey, guess what? I would have told you. I would have taken Madrid in that draw all the time because they beat them last year in the same round. But there's apparently some issues with the Spanish team now and the Real Madrid players, and they want to get rid of the Spanish. There's all kinds of stuff going on. They're 12 points back. They got nothing to play for in that thing. They're already, they're down in the Copa del Rey. I mean, it's only a goal, but
a goal is a goal.
They're down 1-0. The second leg is April 5th, so it's coming up.
They
next
lost
week.
the home leg too, which
they lost the home leg.
Out.
I mean, 1-0's not real. They could overturn that. They can win that game 2-0. I wouldn't be stunned. But Barcelona doesn't give up a lot of goals. Osasuna's up 1-0 in the other leg, by the way, in the other half of the thing. So Chelsea. I think Chelsea has a chance in that. Like, they haven't been great this year, especially in the Premier League. I mean, they're terrible in the Premier League. But I wouldn't see what they are in that. Chelsea's plus 120 to qualify. Real Madrid's minus 162. Chelsea's plus 340 in Madrid for the next leg, the first leg. So, I wouldn't count Chelsea out. I can just see them kind of like frauding their way to like a 1-0 win on aggregate somehow, like just some Kai Havertz scoring off his arm and they count it or something like this.
Anybody but him.
That's a pretty even.
That guy couldn't score if
Who?
Kai Havertz, that guy. Didn't you watch him in the last Champions League match? That guy hit every post. He must have hit the post like 5 times.
He scored like the biggest goal. I mean, he scored the Champions League winner. Like, he scores goals in like huge games, but like other times it's like so bad. Like if Chelsea got Osimhen, which God forbid I'd rather they get Kane, to be honest, and we get Osimhen and Evan Ferguson, or the kid from
and Højlund and everybody else that exists and plays
Højlund will be cheap. Ferguson's not leaving Brighton this summer. There's no way, unless somebody offers 80 million or something like that, because Brighton doesn't need to sell. But if Chelsea got like Harry Kane, they'd be dangerous team, man. They just don't have somebody that could score on a regular basis. So, it'd be interesting. But, all of these ties, I think, except for, your Milan, Napoli's minus 250 and AC Milan is plus 175. So, look, if they get a result against Napoli at home in the first leg, it's interesting. But Napoli's plus 132 in that leg. So Graham Potter Master. Foxy, I could see it. I mean, especially the way last year happened. I was at that game last year. Chelsea, it was 3, like it should have been 4 because like the handball, and I'm sitting with my guy. We're sitting in the Madrid stands, and he's a Barcelona fan. He got us the tickets, and he's like grabbing my leg every time Chelsea scored. I'm like, man, they're gonna do it. So, Madrid's not playing really well. I mean, neither is Chelsea, but they just play well in Europe for some reason. They always play well. So, who knows? But, once again, if AC Milan gets a result against Napoli in the first leg, wins 2-1 or something and goes to Napoli, they got a chance. So, I mean, I don't know if you see that or.
Yeah, no, I was the one that was saying I thought this Chelsea team was due for an offensive explosion and they were getting better in their game. So it all depends, right? It all depends what this break did to them.
But they were up 3-0 in that game last year. And then 90 seconds later, Modric had that wonder goal to make it 3-1 and then went to extra time. And as soon as it went to extra time, what was happening. 2 minutes into extra time, Benzema scored a penalty. And I think this is going to be really, really – I think it's tough, man. I think these games are tough. And then when it's – I think the Europa League is kind of the same way. Feyenoord, Roma. Everybody's just talking about Roma walking through this. This Feyenoord team, once again, they have one loss in the Eredivisie. They're very good. Bayer Leverkusen, USG. Everyone's just saying Bayer Leverkusen is going to walk. This Union St. Gilloise team is good. They score goals. The over in that is minus 125. I might be all over that. Juventus Sporting, dead even. And then, Manchester United and Sevilla, our tour of Spain continues, and our tour of Seville, second time in a row. United, I think United's got to be up big once again going into Spain and to be able to deal with all the other stuff they got going on. But, I don't know. They don't play well against Sevilla. So it's the same, and then, might as well finish the triumvirate here. Ghent and West Ham. West Ham is plus 115 on the road. West Ham should walk through this tournament. I mean, if we're going to be honest, Anderlecht, AZ Alkmaar, Basel, Nice, and Lech Poznan and Fiorentina. There's some decent teams in it. I think Fiorentina's playing better. There's your Basel team. Foxy, should he take Basel in the first leg at plus 250 at home against Nice?
Foxy can take Basel. He loves him so much.
He says you love him, man.
No, I hate this team. You guys know I hate this team. Can't trust him anywhere. He's the one adding him to parlays. Like, I hope Basel doesn't screw me today.
Yeah, it's tough, man. West Ham should walk this, but once again, the further they go in this, I mean, they're playing on Thursdays and Sundays, and they are in the relegation zone right now. They only have 6 wins in the Premier League, and they, look at their fixtures. They have Southampton on Sunday, massive, massive, massive game. Newcastle at home on Wednesday, Fulham on the road on Saturday. So basically, they got Southampton, Newcastle, Fulham in a week. And then they got to play Arsenal. They got to go to Bournemouth, another huge game. Liverpool at Palace, another huge game. Man City, Man United, Brentford. Then they got Leeds and Leicester. So it could come down to those final 2 games. But because I don't know how many wins they're going to get from that. But they should walk that. They might have a European Cup and playing in the Europa League and the Championship next year. So it's there. This is there's a couple days before the storm hits, and then it's just going to be nonstop for
a while.
Basically for 2 months. I mean, the Championship final is until June 10th. The FA Cup final is June 3rd. The Europa League final is May. It's May 31st. It's that Wednesday. It's right after Memorial Day. So I mean, it goes late, so there's going to be all kinds of drama for basically like, 2 months and a 10 days, almost 2.5 months. I mean, it's just gonna, and you're gonna have games like nonstop. There's not going to be these kind of lulls. There's no international breaks. There's no World Cup break. It's just there's probably games, major games, I would say, every day, but a couple for the next 75 days where we're not talking about third division. Once again, we're not talking about Belarus or Nicaragua. We're talking about, Premier League, Champions League, major games every day, which is cool. I mean, if you're a soccer fan, if you don't like soccer, then, or football, then, I don't know what to tell you.
Can't help you.
There's no more college basketball after after 5 days. You can watch the USFL, I guess that's coming back, and the baseball. You can watch baseball until the pitch clock rule changes and the games go back to 7 hours long.
Right.
There was a report today that said the baseball games they shave 26 minutes off games.
Okay. You mean in the spring?
Yeah, I think that's pretty big. For people that don't want to see games for 3.5 hours or 3 hours. If you can get me out of there in 2 hours and 25 minutes, or or if you can get me the last 3 innings in an hour, hey, all right.
Not to bite the hand that once fed me, but we started off when we started televising games with a 2-minute spot. Okay. There's now 3 minutes between commercial breaks between innings. What used to be a 1-minute pitching change is now a 2-minute pitching change. So they can play the game as fast as they want. You still have commercial content that has to get in. And the dirty little secret is broadcasters don't want to tell you that we, the TV industry, has made these games longer. And, in the old days, if we used to put a towel on the first base or third base, camera, and that meant we were in break. So the umpire could look over and see if he sees the towel, then he knows we're in break. There used to be a bunch of umpires that, they would clock it. And if we weren't back, they'd go, forget the towel, we're going. And, so that's it. So it is, 26 minutes, 100%. That's great. But that commercial time's not changing. So it's in between the commercials where we're going to have to change it.
Got it. Yeah. Just like,
Look at the NFL. You go to an NFL game, it takes you, you're in commercial in sub-zero temperatures with the guys standing on the field waiting for the red hat to walk off so that you can go back to play.
The best thing ever is hockey, the Stanley Cup playoffs, when they go to because I think they have some ads for if the game goes to overtime, but if it goes to the second overtime, there's no ads left. So it's just like the 20-minute period lasts like 22 minutes. It's great. Right. There's no commercials. They don't do anything. It's great. Like that's what I think Stanley Cup and playoff hockey and stuff like that. I think people start to that's coming up in the next couple of weeks here. The NBA playoffs start in basically 2 weeks with those playing games, and the NHL playoffs start in like 3 weeks. So I know you're probably getting pumped up there, Amadeus, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been having a great NHL season, so we'll see. My NBA has been on point though. But
it's good. It's going to be interesting. There's a lot. So we're getting into I know people kind of NFL and NCAA tournament and stuff are just so big and thing, but to be honest, for handicappers or some other fan, this is a good time. This, there's playoffs and there's every night there's games. You're not players aren't resting. You don't have to handicap a game with 7 guys not starting and stuff. So
well, it depends, man. There's a lot of NBA players that love to do that still. So
Amadeus, I talked the other day about the fact that there's a lot of hockey players that have a guilt, basically they're healthy scratch, right?
Yep. Yeah.
And you're
And,
sitting
and
going,
that's
I
the
saw
difference.
this guy this morning in skate around. What the hell just happened between skate around and now? He was doing handstands and now he's not doing it.
Yeah, basically that's the difference right there. Is that
True.
the NHL, the players, you suck, so you're not going to play tonight. But in the NBA, it's like I hurt, so I don't want to play tonight.
Unfortunately, we don't have a "you suck" list, which you could put on there and go for it. But this is the way it goes. You guys want to? I know we're kind of pinched for time for Amadeus. We don't want to move it too fast. You want to do some baseball opening day, or you want to wait till tomorrow?
Yeah, I got to get going. So if you guys want to continue, or we could do it tomorrow.
I think we could you want to just do it tomorrow because there's all the games tomorrow.
Fine. That's fine. I want to give you options.
Yes, it sounds good. We'll definitely talk some MLB. It gives me a chance to go over the games some more.
Well, by the time we start, there'll only be a couple of games started.
Yeah.
So
in play, man. In play is where it is anyway.
That's right. We'll be able to tell you what's going on.
All right.
As it happens. So, and we promise we're not going to do commercial breaks. If other people do, that's on them. But we're not going to do it. So there you go. All right. Well, any final thoughts before we bolt out of here today?
No, I'm ready to keep watching some games this weekend. So
just take Bayern Munich in the Women's Champions League.
Yeah. You may vote, by the way, in the comments of which background you think is best. I mean, there's some really good backgrounds here.
Well, that's not fair. Fox is going to say Sean's.
No, Amadeus was hurt in the airplane that flies over the stadium. He's just near an airport. Fortunately, he's got a noise canceling headset, so we don't get to hear. So there's that, but he's safe. That's not a problem. Sean is in England, right?
Me?
Behind you?
Right now?
Behind you. Your
Wembley Stadium. It's Wembley.
Wembley,
it's from our masterclass victory over Newcastle.
And I'm in a studio or a Best Buy, depending upon how you look at it, with the TVs behind me. But anyway, give us a thought of what you think is going on. How much you're gonna have fun? Should we change it up? We'll see. Anyway, have a great day, guys, and we will see everybody tomorrow, Thursday, around 2:00 ish. So join us. We really appreciate it.